I got some notes today for you.
We have time for this. Hey, welcome to Nothing But Answers. I mean, if you guys could be in the green room, you would really hear the show, okay? We're going to start having backstage passes.
Oh, right? Yes.
Oh, let's do that. That's an idea. I like that.
So, again, welcome to Nothing But Answers, a place where you can come and get our answers on current events and whatever's going on. So let's start with some introductions. How we doing there, Doc?
Hey, people. I am okay. Started the week with some little stressful stuff, but I managed.
Oh.
I powered through, got through it all, and now things are looking up. You know?
Yeah. Moving on up.
That's right. That is right.
And we're loving that hair color, Doc.
Oh, thank you.
Loving
I got my summer color.
Loving it.
I'm always, I'm a color girl. Man, I started coloring my hair as soon as I turned 18.
Wow.
So I am a colored girl.
Wow.
Yes. I wasn't allowed before then.
Right, exactly. Right.
My mom was like, nope. She said, when you turn 18, you can do whatever you want with your hair. But until then, no.
Well, it looks great.
My 18th birthday, I got my hair dyed blonde.
Wow.
And it's been every color since.
Wow. Well, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Whoa. That's good. And how about you, Neil?
Well, Neil's doing well. I had to go and get some color on there. I had to put something on there for Doc. I'm like, okay, we're changing up this week. But life is good. Let's see. Nothing too eventful. Just left grandma. She's doing well, hanging in there. 40th high school reunion on tap for tomorrow.
Let's go for the big 4-0 reunion.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe that number when I'm only 45. How?
Yes, let's hear it for the girls. Hi, girls.
Girls high in the house.
Yes. We in the house.
That's right. We ain't need no boys. No.
The funny thing is, my class was the class that was there when they started allowing girls at Central.
Yes, my girlfriend started that movement. Told her to mind her business with that. Yes,
right.
She did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they started letting those boys in, and it's been a mess ever since. No.
But that's really cool. Are you guys having something?
Yes, they're having a big brunch. So at a French place, which I'm looking forward to. And I think over 50 ladies have RSVP'd. So
that's really
I'm really looking forward. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good stuff. But everybody's good. How about you, mister?
I'm doing well. Great weekend as well. A week as well. Again, they go by so fast. It seemed like we were just here. We're back here again. And I'm just ready to learn some more things from you guys.
All right. Let's take them to school, Doc. Take them to school.
Oh, boy, I tell you. It's tough around here. So you can join in live if you guys. We have a Zoom link. It's out there if you need it. We'll put it in the comments as well. But you can join us live where you can either share your thoughts, ask questions, or opinions. So that is an option tonight. All right, so let's get right into it. We were talking about the one that got away. Wow. And why? What happened?
Yes. Why is that even a thing?
Why is that?
If they were the one, why are you not with them?
Good point.
So, I mean, we could start there, right? If this person was the one, if you feel like, well, first of all, do they feel like you're the one? It's a good question. Because they may not feel
that is
you
the other side of the question.
One. You
yes, it could be both ways. Yeah.
Just because you are, don't mean that they felt the same way. I was thinking
about that. Yep.
Okay. So, and I think that happens more often than not, where the person maybe was what you wanted, but you weren't really what they wanted. So,
for whatever reason, because there's a lot of reasons, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's think about it. Okay, so the one that got away, let's think about why, what happened. So I was reading some things on a lot of times. Well, it could be. Let's start with timing. Timing. Sometimes you guys are in different places, and that could put a big monkey wrench in things. If one person is, I'm moving to Italy. I just started a new job. Well, that timing may not permit that relationship to happen. Right? So timing could be a thing.
Timing could be a thing.
Some people say, let's make it work, but you're in Italy. I got needs. God dang it.
Or, timing could be, one person is with someone or, already seeing someone.
Wait, what, Doc?
That's another kind of timing. That is another kind
of timing.
That is.
Side dude. Wait a minute. Wait.
No.
I'm saying not starting the side, which would lead to the one getting away. Because you don't start the side dude.
How would you know they're the one then?
But if you become friends you might
look. Somebody's trying to rationalize nonsense. Look at this nonsense, guys. Go ahead. Tell me how.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say it like this. Something really simple. Say you work at a job, Daryl.
I do.
And you're in close quarters with a lot of women, Daryl.
Okay.
You spend a lot of time with a lot of women, Daryl. But you got a girl at home, Daryl.
Yes.
And you become close with one of the women at work. And you start to realize, oh, this could be something.
What?
But you got a girl.
Right.
Girl.
Come on now, stop. If you're getting that close to someone already, there's something wrong, right?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay. So
a lot of relationships start because of proximity.
No, most of them do. But what I'm saying is if you're allowing anything to transpire when you have someone else, you're already not the best person already.
But I'm not saying I'm saying innocently because you're in meetings all the time.
What?
You're talking, you might meet. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that in this situation, it could happen.
And I know of situations, yes, where it has happened that way.
Say that again, Leo?
I know situations in between the sound effects that it has happened that way, where there were two folks and, you were just hanging out, getting to know both folks. And then you made a decision. You weren't playing the other one. You made a decision so that other one that didn't get chosen may consider you as the one that got away from them based on what you decided, if that makes sense.
No, because I'm just saying, what I think the one that left me for somebody else is the one that got away. Usually the one that got away is about something you did or didn't do to get them.
Sometimes.
Right? I think, so the definition was, let me look real fast. I had the definition.
Well, I have that.
You had it too?
You got it too, Neil.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. So what I saw was usually the one that got away is someone that you didn't treat super well or had to leave because of things outside of your control. Well, maybe it could be this.
But can't that go both ways, Daryl? Seriously?
If someone left you, could they be the one that got away when they left?
No. But I'm saying if you chose one of, say, the two people, can't that one that wasn't chosen always in their mind consider you the one that got away?
But you left, right?
Yeah,
you didn't
made
get
a
away,
choice. I made a decision.
I would think the one that got away would mean it kind of slipped through your fingers. Like there was something that you did. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm thinking if someone left you. I don't know if someone.
I think that is one of the definitions.
Yeah, it was.
Right. And that's just for me. I think that someone left me, they're not the one that got away because they left. They left. They didn't get away.
I see what you mean.
They ran away. They got the hell away from me.
But
for good reason.
They would be the one that escaped.
Right. That dodged a bullet. They say sometimes.
Right. I just don't.
Okay, well, look at it from that perspective. I was just thinking it could be the other.
What came to my mind when we started talking about timing and why I brought it up the way that I did is thinking about Erykah Badu's song where she's talking about she's in a relationship, but she has feelings for this other person.
She's a cheater.
No, that's timing. That's timing.
That's cheating.
Well, she's trying to figure it out, Daryl.
Well, wait a minute. What you figuring out? If you're with somebody, why you open up to somebody else? I don't want you. I wouldn't even want you at that point. You ain't the one to get away. Because if you did it to get to me, you might do it to get away from me. This is your pattern.
Okay.
So I was with you, but while I was with you, my loins were beating for someone else. What kind of cheating? Hey, fellas, pay attention. This is women.
I don't think
talking
that's
about
what it means.
having feelings with somebody else when you're in a relationship.
That's not what it means.
This is women. Pay attention, fellas. The women are talking about getting emotionally attached to somebody else when you're with someone. I'm just putting it out there, okay?
No, she was trying to figure it out before those attachments were made, I'm sure.
Right, Ruth, that's what happened. You're right.
You know what? I was a firm believer in what Daryl is saying, and I would always tell people it wasn't a mistake. You allowed yourself to get attached to this person. You knew you had feelings, or you knew you were attracted, and you just kept on, being around them and stuff. And I just had, here we go, Daryl, the unicorn. The one story that I heard where it wasn't really intentional. So
okay.
One or two, I'll say.
So it has happened.
The person said it really wasn't intentional. It was just a matter of circumstance.
That's a lie they're telling. That's a lie they're telling.
And they're sticking to it.
My penis ended up in her. I don't know how it happened.
Why does it have to go to that
extreme?
Right.
Well, that's what was moved. His loins.
It wasn't that extreme. And you know why I believed that person was because of the nature of their job, and they could not spend time with this person. So they didn't really have a choice in the band. So, and feelings develop because when you're working with someone, you don't just talk about work.
So that connection is made.
You start sharing.
You do know when you're crossing that line. You do.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I agree with that.
So again, you're allowing it to happen when you start.
But I agree with that. But what do you do in a situation where you start to feel that you are crossing the line and you say, "Okay, boss, can you have somebody else work with Jim because I don't think that's a good match for us." And boss said, "Hell no, you and Jim got to work together every night. The rest of the time that Jim is here." What do you do?
Work it out.
Do you just not talk to Jim in your work meetings? Do you just only talk about work?
Fellas, before we got on, fellas, we were talking about a post that we put in our group, Nothing But Answers group, where the man was talking about the girl had a stinky bra, and he was like, "You know what? Stay home with your stinky bra," right? And they were saying that the only way men can do it is if he has somebody else because he's thirsty, because he has no self-control.
Right.
We're having a story right now with no self-control. Just because you're with someone doesn't mean you have to allow yourself to go to a place you don't need to go to. But the women are advocating right now for.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Wait.
We are not advocating. We are saying that there has been situations where this has happened. I am not advocating. I just told you I thought the way you thought, and now you're gonna say I'm advocating?
Go in, Doc.
Listen. Women do talk out both sides of their mouth. She said, I feel the way you feel, but there are times when you're in situations it can't help it.
There's always a time.
Because nothing is always or never. There's hardly anything in the world that's always or never.
Know what it is? You'll never cheat if you don't allow yourself to cheat. That is a never.
We're not even talking about cheating here.
We're talking about, if you're letting Philip's feelings
we're not
develop.
talking about cheating.
No, we're not.
We're talking about if you know that you cannot start a relationship with this person, could they be the one that got away? Can you feel like they got away? I was married. We worked together. I really liked him, but I couldn't.
The grass is greener always on the other side. I don't know how a brief encounter without really, while you have someone and you're playing with someone else, seems like
see how he
that brief encounter.
He does twist your words,
I'm just saying what happened. I only can go on. Well, what were you doing with the other person? What you were sitting there divulging all this information to? When we know that information and personal information, you get closer to someone. I mean, this is a known thing, right? When you start talking more and more personal, that means we're getting closer. So if you're like, yeah, my wife, I can't, or you know what, the kids. If you start talking very personal, then you're getting closer, right?
Of course.
Yeah. That's on you.
But that happens. Sometimes that happens and nothing comes of it but a good friendship.
That's true.
You don't need no friends. My girl don't need no friends.
And that's our other argument that we can have friends of different genders. Yes, we can. Yes. I keep telling him that.
Yes. Wait. Your husband said you can't, right?
No, he did not. Whose husband?
Wait, you said you keep telling who that? Who do you
No, I keep telling you, Daryl, that women can have male friends and vice versa.
Women, listen, how can you tell? Okay. Let your male friend get some and see what happens. She's going to be like, okay.
Oh, my God.
You're the best friend I got. See, I love the friendship
out of you.
So if it was a real friend,
we're on a whole
so make your mind up. Percy said men got to have sex with a sticky bra, but then they're gonna be friends
like this, like this.
Right. That's the same way they're gonna be with their friend. Somebody, you the one that got away. You the one that got away.
I just need my mask on because I got a cold.
I'm so confused. I don't know if guys and girls can be friends.
That's another topic for another day because yes, they can. Thank you.
I don't think they can be. You can be acquaintance.
Well, we're going to open that one up later.
Think about what you just said. Even as we talk about the one that got away, if you're friends and you guys are talking, you're sharing things, same basically concept that we were saying with the other one, you can become closer, right? Now with that closeness, can it stay at a friend level? Yeah, yes. as long as she keeps it there. As long as she keeps it there.
Why does it have to keep it there?
If she doesn't, then it's going down. What do you mean? It's stinky bra. Stinky bra over again.
How? Okay. So you just confirmed that all men are thirsty and will sleep with even their friend if
allowed. Exactly.
If allowed. Even if the friendship goes down the toilet.
Fellas, women have no accountability. They said that men will sleep with their friends, like their friends are sleeping with them. I am so confused with what they're talking about here. This is both of you guys.
You just said that if the woman allows, the man will take her down.
Right. Well, women allow access to sex. Women allow
men have no self-control. They can't say, no, girl, you my friend. Why would I do that?
Right.
We are good friends. This feels right. I think you're the one that got away. I think you're the one that got away. Yes. Right?
Wow.
Again, if it was a random person, they would say no. But that you're such a good friend and we have such a great relationship and we share so much. We're already intimately connected.
We're friends, not all of that.
Obviously, we're not friends if you're giving me some. Right? Are we friends if you're giving me some?
No, that's you cross into something else. It's not friends.
That's not a friendship zone. Anyway.
Here we go. They never have sex with women never have sex with their so-called friends. They don't have friends.
No, they do not.
Who said that?
I'm just saying. Okay.
If it crosses over, you're not just
friends.
So, but my question would be: are you? Even listen, if you feel like it's they're the one that got away because of your relationship, are they just friends at that point still?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, I agree.
Right? If you develop romantic feelings,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or even you thought because of the time you spent together and you're sharing all these intimate things without with nothing to worry about, that relationship almost looks a lot better because it's not a real relationship. Like you're just talking about good things. You don't worry about the stress. You're not worried about the bills or the kids or anything like that. So I think sometimes we can trick ourselves into thinking this is the one that got away because of the circumstance. The circumstances are just very basic. So it seems like this is a great relationship. Like, oh, you seem like a great person, and even how they're telling the story about what's going on in their life, people usually make themselves the victim. My wife ain't. She ain't. And you're like, well, I would definitely do that for you. Oh my God. You're wonderful.
Yeah.
If you came home to me, you'd have a cooked meal and you would have this, but let alone you sitting here talking to me and your husband hungry.
You're right, because that can get confused, Daryl, because by definition, the one that got away, people consider them to be compatible and having a mutual chemistry.
Right.
They find them humorous. They admire them. They respect them. they have fun around them. So I could see how those lines could get blurred in that way.
Right. And I you know it, and I can see how you could go home and be like, God, she'd be perfect. But now I kind of see, like, and now you're thinking, well, I can't because I'm in a relationship.
Right.
Exactly. Even though I'm cheating emotionally because I'm way too deep.
No, but.
Oh, no.
But I realize that is what it is, and it needs to stay there.
No. So when you think about that person at home, that's a problem.
Now it's interesting you said that, because people that think about the one that got away, on one of the stats, they said 71% of the people think about the one that got away.
I saw that. Yes.
You notice that?
Right.
I thought that was a very high percentage.
High. And they said that 60% secretly wish that they could go back with that person.
Yes. I saw that. 60%. Wow.
Yeah, they call it a romantic regret. Romantic regret is so common that 71% of people think about the one that got away. And unsurprisingly, 60% of those with the one that got away are still thinking about the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
And that becomes a problem in your new relationship.
Exactly.
Of course.
Because you're still fixated on the previous person. I think it's, so it's actually, now you're sabotaging your new relationship. Because this person can't meet the expectations or whatever you have in your head of the person that you felt that got away.
Yep.
That's interesting. Right? That is definitely interesting.
And a very high percentage. Yes.
Right.
Yes, people, they do. You do forget because you start to romanticize the relationship. And you think about all the good stuff. And you forget about why the relationship actually ended. That is true.
Well, it's kind of human nature, right? Because if we remembered every bad thing, like, we forget abuse, right? We push it away, we tuck it away. We don't want to remember it because that's hurt, that's pain. So you don't want to be hurt and pain. So you remember the fun times you had.
Yes.
And then when you see that person again, you remember the fun times, which allows you to think that it was, and then you can go back into it. You can go back into the thing and then find out it's the same thing. Hate this person. You're not the one that got away. I'm glad you got away. Have to go away with you.
But that is interesting, is how that can alter the current relationship that one is pursuing or in. If you're constantly thinking about the other person and how they were with you and comparing them to the new person, I could see that being a problem.
That could be deadly. It could kill your relationship.
Yes.
Right. And I think you really have to keep it in some perspective too, because, when you are grandizing this relationship that is over, you can really start, I think you start popping in people's windows and that type of crazy stuff.
Or stalking, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Huh. Yeah. That could be divine intervention.
Well, and that's what we're saying. Sometimes we're holding on to something that wasn't there.
Yes.
We're holding on, and you could block your blessings like that too. If we're speaking this way, because if you keep chasing after this other person, the person that you think is the one, that you won't see the real person that you should be. Matter of fact, you're probably talking to the real person at work anyway about, and you have somebody else.
He's not gonna stop.
From what I learned today.
Oh my!
Gracious.
Unbelievable. Now, on those,
a lot of times you start struggling with the difference between fantasy and reality. Because the fantasy is the part that Daryl was talking about, where we forget about all the bad stuff that happened in that relationship. And you start romanticizing it, and then sometimes you even try to mimic, I guess, or put those same kind of things in place in your current relationship. Say, well, so-and-so did it like that. Kind of comparing, but also not just in your head. Like you're trying to put these things on your person.
Oh.
Or they said actually even deals with, it messes with your self-esteem.
I did see that.
It can have self-esteem issues, like also the sabotaging current and future relationships. It can just negatively impact you in so many different ways.
Because you almost view it as a failure to you, right? That this didn't work out, so I failed at that relationship.
Or you may feel like you'll never get that level of relationship again.
That's true.
Right. This is what I wanted. I messed it up, and you'll just just consistently just think about that over and over again. So even in a new relationship, you can't enjoy it because you're like, I messed up the one that got away.
Yep.
I messed up the one that got away. And I'm like, will you get away from me, please?
Now, I also saw, Daryl, that 40 to 50% of the people reunite with their one that got away.
I didn't see that.
I saw that.
I didn't see that either.
They categorize it as their ex, but I'm assuming under that same umbrella, it was the one that got away.
I would need more. So I would get the fact that people do get back together, right? People do try it again, but it usually ends again, right? I mean, it does. It usually ends again because what we talked about. You are fantasizing about the good in the relationship, so you're not even looking at the relationship in the totality of the relationship. When you get back into the relationship, you remember, I hate the way you chew. Dang, you do breathe loud. Whatever it was that was before that was bothering you, it's going to, in a couple of weeks, it'll come back out.
Maybe they fixed that though.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, people do fix things on their own after a break in a relationship. You're right. Hey, Doc. Hey, Doc. Doc, you might as well quit your job because you're not needed. It sound like people are getting it together. Okay, Ruth, people are getting it together.
Improve on themselves, Daryl, and then maybe try it again.
You're right. That's what happened, Ruth. People improve on themselves. That's what they do. Okay. Hey guys, just pay attention. So, but I did what I read was.
You know what? Some people do try to work on themselves after, especially if the person that left them has said, you're this, you're that.
There you go.
I don't like this or that about you. That's why I'm breaking up with you.
Yes.
Go ahead and try to fix those things. And a
lot
of times it doesn't get them the person back. A lot of times it doesn't get them the person back. But
right.
some of it would be for their benefit.
I got a broke car outside. I'm gonna leave it alone, and you know what? It's gonna fix itself. It's gonna fix itself. It's gonna obtain the knowledge to fix itself.
What if they really did feel?
How's it gonna fix itself? People usually don't fix themselves.
I said people change or get help. I forget how I said it. But I see these people. These are the people I see.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to improve myself in my next relationship. Or they broke up with me because of XYZ. So I do want to take a look at that.
Yep.
I will say I was wrong because most of especially the Black community goes to counseling. They do. I forgot.
No, we're getting them to think about that. They're not.
We want them to, but
we want them to, but most people don't.
Sometimes they're the ones that should be going.
Exactly. Right. I said so. For me, most times people
they just end up saying everybody that dated them is crazy.
Right.
Everybody said the same thing, but everybody crazy.
Right. So most people are not getting help. They're just going back into a relationship saying they feel better, saying they're better until.
But maybe after the fourth or fifth one, they begin to believe the hype of what people are saying.
Right, Ruth. They do. They do.
Well, I said maybe.
And I said that, and I did not mention people of color because all the ones that I'm seeing, it's not them.
Exactly. That's what I mean. We are even worse at going to get help. So I know we ain't getting better because we're a community in crisis because we're not getting better. We're just repeating the same things over and over again. So again, other people may be getting help. We're not. And we say we're better. We will watch a couple of YouTubes and then we'll go back and do the same thing because we're not doing anything to really enact change. We're not, so again, sometimes you feel better. It's no different than a person that's, taking medicine and they feel better and then they stop taking the medicine and then they go back to doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
So sometimes
watching YouTube or reading some shorts on Instagram.
Right. That's it.
I don't even people watch. People watching the whole YouTube.
They're not.
They might read something on Instagram.
Maybe 2 to 3 minutes. That's it.
You mean YouTube shorts? They're watching the shorts. 30 seconds or less. Let me pitch myself in 30 seconds or less. But they did say, if you do reconnect with the one that got away, you should make sure, first of all, whatever you're feeling is real, right? Try to really make sure you feel is real. And that's by making a list, writing down the positive and negative. Try to remember everything about the relationship that kind of made it not so great or whatever made it stop or the person get away. Write that down, right? In a list so you can see it. So now something tangible you can see. And, if you're being honest with yourself, you might see some things that you may not want to go back into. Own, this is the big part. Own your part in whatever it was to make things not work. Right? Say, well, I did do such and such. I did, maybe they asked me to do such. I try to own your part in it. Don't just, have the pointing, they did this, they were terrible, they were crazy. That type of thing does not work. Respect their current situation. Right? So if they are talking to somebody else in another relationship, then kind of fall back.
Yeah. And let go.
Fall back.
And let go.
Kind of fall until time is right. Yeah, kind of give it some space because, I know you're supposed to go after what you want, but today is crazy. I don't want to get shot going after what I want. Okay, you the one that got away. I don't want to get shot because people are crazy.
True.
Prepare for the conversation. Sit down and kind of go through what you're going to say. Don't just try to wing it. Don't just I'm going to talk off my heart. Well, it's tough to talk sometimes. The feelings involved, you go all over the place. You want to kind of have something to keep you on task so you can talk about the points you need to talk about and try to get through it that way. Take baby steps too, because too often when we start talking and people jump right back into the relationship where it ended, you move back in or you're doing things like you're doing, and that just puts you right back in the same situation. Take baby steps. You don't have to rush back into it. Take baby steps. And then start dating each other again. Start over if you can. Start over. That may help the person come back, or may make you guys see that you weren't the one that got away. It just didn't work for whatever reason.
And I would say, I see the list you working from, Daryl, but I would also throw in there, don't be afraid to walk away again. If you realize, hey, I was just romanticizing this. This is not what I thought it was.
And that's what I was thinking about, and how to really let that go emotionally. Because again, if we have 71% holding on to it, are you really breaking that in your mind? How are you letting it go and moving on?
Well, I think it's if you feel like, and it's 71%, I think that's kind of normal. If you're with someone and they're pretty good and it didn't work out, I think you're going to feel like, wow, I would want to be with that person, right? Because they had some qualities and things. So that's kind of normal. It's feeling that way, especially if you start dating and it's all trash out there, right?
That's true. So,
so at that point, it makes it a lot easier to be like, wow, this person, whatever it was, maybe they were closer to things you liked or whatever the case may be than the people you're meeting. So it's easy to feel like, I missed something. It's easy to now look over like, dang, I should have, just because they, chew loud, I could have got, that wasn't that
right.
bad.
Right.
So I think that happens a lot more today. I don't know about before because there's so many options and everything is moved so fast and it's microwave and you're picking people and people do one of those things, you're done with them. But then when you get out there, I think you see a lot of garbage and you're like, wow, this person, man, I should have, tried to work a little harder for that person. So I can see trying to go back.
Maybe the message is just that. To be more patient with the one that you're feeling these things about. They chew too loud, they're annoying in this way. Maybe be more patient and really weigh that.
And look at look at what those things are. Look at what somebody chewing too loud is different than someone who abuses you.
Very true.
Right.
But like Daryl said, then you still have so many options. You can still pick 18 people that don't chew loud. It's like there are almost too many things on the menu.
Well, I think that, like I said, people just are so. Well, first of all, the one that got away, I think that's an issue in itself, right? Because is there one that got away, or is this a relationship that you may be invested in? I mean, I think there might be people that maybe fit you better. But I think if you work with anyone, well, that's not anyone, but a lot of times relationships, people are just not working. And I think that by not working or relationships are tough. I don't think there's anybody perfect for anyone, because we both come with our baggage and our nonsense, and you got to kind of find out what you can deal with and yada, 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 yada. Right. So I guess it could be perfect for you, but I don't know if it's someone got away. They got away for a reason. they weren't meant to stay. So I'm just saying, I don't know about that.
But like you said before,
you were messed up or they were messed up.
But couldn't they also get away because you just weren't ready for that kind of relationship? Maybe a serious relationship. I know somebody who they just want to sort of date. And so when you're dating people that maybe want something more long-term, more serious, then they may not hang in there with that, because two different things.
They shouldn't. And you may feel they're the one that got away, but for them, that's what they needed. You weren't the one that got away. You're the one I got away from. So again, you're feeling that way after the fact, because you realize that you were messing up, right? You were, and again, especially what is your reason for not being on the same level with this person or not progressing? Like, what is your reason? If your reason was, I'm out here still sowing my royal oats and things of that nature, then that's your fault. They should have got away from you, right? It depends what the reason really is. Now I get it if it was something where there was a big move, across the United States or out of country or something like that. I get those. So those I can see like, oh man, I wish she didn't have to move, or I wish I could have moved with her. I can see something like that being the one that got away. Like, we had a great summer, it was great, but now they got to go back to Britain. Shoot, it was great. That makes sense to me. But other than that, I think if you're breaking up, it's for a reason. And one person, to me, I don't know if I've ever seen where two people like, they were the one that got away, and they both agree to that. It's usually very one-sided.
I think sometimes those things come up culturally.
Okay, tell me more.
Or because of family. Or religion. If you have two people who really like each other, but they're from two different cultures or religions, and the family is like, y'all can't do this. This can't happen.
When you're a jet all the way.
That's right. Yes.
Maria.
Yes. Yes. There's some real 2023 situations like that.
Right. Yeah, and something like that definitely would be, we got away from whatever got in the middle of, we couldn't be, and they fought to be, but sometimes you just can't, because sometimes religion or these things are too strong where you can't cross those lines.
Right.
The parents they won't allow you to. Right. So in that case, right. But it's very rare, I feel, that both people feel like we got away from each other. It's usually one person who was messing up, who was a knucklehead, who chased someone away or did whatever. And now that person is like, I should have kept them. They were great. And that person's married and living their best life, or whatever the case may be. And you're looking through the Facebook like, dang, that could have been me. But
so true.
Yes.
Patient, better be patient.
Right. So in that case, like I said, it comes down to most of the times, I think the one that got away is just somebody was doing something that they shouldn't do or couldn't do what was needed at that time. So that's how I feel about it. I mean, the one that got away. I got a whole bunch of them that's the one that got away.
So can you have more? You can have more than one that got away?
It's the ones that got away.
Plural. That's the
So is that one of those situations where you need to look at yourself?
I told you, absolutely. If they got away, it's usually something you did.
So there goes the regret that we talked about.
again, but it's usually an after fact after, they got away. Then it's like, dang, I should have did. So, I mean, I don't know if there's, people I think have ones that got away.
You're right about that.
Then Doc's like, ooh, why did I keep letting ones get away? Then you got at a certain point, you do have to be like, because of me.
Yes.
Because of the guy in between these two thumbs, but people don't do that sometimes,
or they do it later on when, it's just so many got away. So many.
Well, and I think even saying the one that got away is kind of almost letting you off the hook as well, right? Because you're like, they got away. No, you chased them away. They didn't get away, right? You let them go, or you pushed them out the door. Saying that they're the one that got away is not really saying the truth. You should say, I was messing up. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I didn't meet their needs. That's what should be. That's what should be said, right? Because they didn't just get away. Because they might have been there. They might have been for you, like you said, if it's timing, or if you were in another relationship, like you guys were alluding to earlier. Whatever it was.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever
Tell me
it was.
what you think about this situation.
Okay, here we go.
You're with someone, the relationship is going very well as far as you know, and then they say, oh yeah, I want to break up because of these 100 things, and you're still attached. You still want to be with the person, but the person, I mean, personally, I think that in that situation, the person is looking for out. So they find a way to get out of the relationship, but you're left feeling like they're the ones that got away, the one that got away, because you thought that person was perfect for you,
and they did not agree.
And as far as you know, you didn't do anything to mess it up, because this is the first time you're hearing this stuff.
So it's interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting because if it came out the blue like that. So I don't know if I would think they were the one that got away, because obviously, for me, I'd be like, well, why didn't you tell me this before today? You dropped these 100 things on me, right? And then if you didn't give me a chance, so maybe you could feel that way. I mean, because we want to feel, sympathy for ourselves. Maybe you could feel like, oh man, if I'd have known, I could have did this and that. So you could, you could definitely feel that way. But I think, hopefully you would see, like, if they didn't give you a chance to change, like Doc said, you might have been looking for an out. But I can see how you feel like they are the one that got away for a while. Like, I really liked them. Everything was going well. Things going
and then out of nowhere.
And your self-esteem gets attached.
Yes.
Because now they've said that you're all these negative things, and now you feel like you got to correct it.
Oh, right. They could definitely go that way, because now you feel like, I got to do this. I should have did this. I'm not.
But I wonder if that person didn't know any of those things on the list. I mean, usually there's some telltale things that.
I was thinking that too, Ruth.
Yeah.
It may, but maybe not, right? Because sometimes, like I said, if people are looking for ways out, then I'm gonna be like anything. That's when I'm gonna start making stuff up that I never said. You know what I mean? Like you walk around the house all hard. I got neighbors downstairs. You don't got no respect for me. They can change anything into something. I can't have no heavy-foot woman walking around my house. I just can't.
That's true. They can make it what they want it to be.
Right. And so it could be out of the blue. Because at first I was thinking what you were thinking. Dang, you should know. But again, if someone's really trying to get out of something, then that means they're gonna be creative.
That's true. That's true.
And
they have to find a way to make it look like you're not good enough for them.
Right.
Interesting.
And people are terrible like that.
Yes.
They're just being honest. Like,
they call it honest, brutal honesty, right?
No, that's not brutal. That's
instead of being brutally honest and saying, "Hey, this is not working for me."
Right. That's brutally honest.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
You don't have to call out the person's flaws. You don't have to talk about how they Bigfoot and walk around the house.
This is not working for me.
Unless you have one of those persons. Unless you have one of those people on the other end that needs to hear something. If you say this is not working for me, and they say why, tell me why. I don't know what I did. Tell me why. Then you start making up stuff.
That's true too.
That's why communication is vital from the beginning, throughout. Like me, I tell my husband, do you have to chew like that? Do you really have to chew like that?
I would say yes.
So he's aware. He can't say he didn't know it annoyed me.
Right. Exactly.
So he said, do you know your voice when you talk is annoying to me? When you say that?
He has said that.
So, exactly. So you know your voice is annoying too, but you keep doing it. So why would he stop?
No.
There you go.
I'm not change my voice, Daryl.
You can. We say, you chew like that. That. Okay? You can change it. See what I'm talking about, fellas? Pay attention.
I can't win. I can't.
Not at all.
Not at all, Doc.
Man, we can't even eat the way we want to eat.
No, but you don't have to chew like that when in my presence.
He can't even eat the way he wants to eat.
Ladies, you can't walk around the way you want to walk around.
You're heavy foot. Heavy foot.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Fellas, we suffer in pain. I just want to give him a hug. I know he needs a hug because he's dealing with a lot. Okay? He's dealing with a lot.
And I am too. What about my hug?
I don't know what you're dealing with. I know he's dealing with whatever you bring. He like just think about it. I want to come home, have a nice meal, just eat, and you can't eat in peace. So you gonna chew like that? I'm not even hungry. I ate yesterday. I'm fine.
You are not messing up my scheme because if it's loud chewing, it's loud chewing, and I'm gonna tell you so you can stop.
So here we go, fellas. They've been together for like 800 years.
1,000 years.
It ain't stopped yet. It ain't stopped yet, but she's gonna keep going. She's consistent. She's gonna keep trying to get him to stop chewing.
No, at times he'll try to quiet it a little bit out of care.
So now he's damn near choking on his food because he can't chew the way he's supposed. Fellas, we suffer in silence. He got a damn near choke to make her happy. He's swallowing big pieces of meat.
Pull them in. Pull them in, Doc.
Big pieces of meat being swallowed.
So what are some of the signs for you that someone is the one that got away, or signs that you're the one that got away from someone?
Carol is a mess.
Yeah, that's a good question. What are some signs?
Pay attention. Okay, some signs. Let me look at my notes because he is distracting. Okay, so
you better learn CPR. Just learn CPR, Ruth. That's all I'm saying. Just learn CPR.
I am certified as a teacher. I got him. All right, back to the point.
Me too.
There you go. So we can save our mace after we make them cook.
If something like that happened and we decide we still want them around, we can save them.
Right, Doc? We might wait it out a couple of minutes. Like, oh, you'll be all right. Okay, focus. Okay. What was the question, Doc? I forgot.
Oh, gosh. What are some of the signs that you feel like someone is the one that got away, or you are the one that got away from someone?
I know this one. You stay on their mind, even though they've moved on. Even though you've moved on, you stay on their mind.
So does this kind of sound? I guess it's different levels, but if it's almost becoming like clinical, like if it's interrupting your day, if it's destroying new relationships or not allowed, that's a serious problem, right? That becomes something more than just thoughts of things. You need to talk to somebody.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Checking in on you. Hey, how you doing?
Well, that's
get that text. How are you?
Yeah. That's the worm on the hook. Hey, how you doing? To see what happens. See how you respond.
And isn't that the low key way that they're trying to stay on your radar?
Yes,
absolutely.
That's what it is.
I got to keep you on my. Yep. That's the way to keep you in their thoughts, right?
Yep. Okay.
As long as you go, extinction can come into play, and people forget about you. But if you keep, kind of popping up, if they're having any feelings too, then you can they can use that to work your way back in.
Yep.
One of the things you mentioned, Daryl, can't hold a relationship after.
Right. It's beginning to sound like the one that got away is really needs to be in the DSM-5. Like we need to put that in there. Seems like page 537. These are the categories. Right. Right. It seems like it's almost it needs to be there because it doesn't seem healthy.
It doesn't. No.
I mean, I think it can be healthy at a certain point. I think when you're getting over something, but it should dissipate. But if it doesn't dissipate over time, that's when I feel like it's not healthy and it becomes DSM-5able, if that's a word.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that definitely I think it should be.
Excitement. They talk about excitement. Excitement if they see you. Like, hey, girl,
like at work, at the job.
Right.
Little more than happy coworker. Right, Daryl?
Because your platonic relationship makes you act that way to all your coworkers. You brought cookies for everybody? No, just Jeff? Okay. Okay.
I think stalking too, because it's so easy now with the internet and social media. It's so easy.
Absolutely.
So easy.
Wow.
Looking at the one that got away, searching them.
Right. It's tough to get away now.
Yes.
It's the one that stalked.
Before, all you had to do was change your phone number.
Right.
Right.
That was it. Right.
Now they'll stalk you.
So I wonder if stalking, like one of the things under stalking would be the person feel like they're the one that got away. I wonder if you talk to people who stalk, do they feel? Obviously they feel like something can let you go, right? So I wonder if they have a feeling that you are one that got away, and in my mind, I'm doing what I can do to get you back. I wonder if that's some type of perverted way of thinking, where it goes too far, where the one that goes away is too far.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that, where they're watching your every move, especially if you're posting. They're watching your every move,
right?
And they're figuring out how they can maneuver to be appealing again.
Not even posting through your window,
Oh my!
Following you around, right? I mean, no, really.
Yeah.
Yes. It could be a lot more serious than just watching your post.
Very true.
And what about if they're not exclusively seeing anyone else? Is that a sign maybe that they haven't moved on? They're just not seeing anyone.
So in your mind, again, that's the delusion. Just because they're not seeing anyone doesn't mean they're welcoming you back, right? Or they may be seeing someone. Obviously, you're not talking to them like that, right? So they may be. So I think whether they're seeing someone or not, I mean, you could ask. I mean, but if you're, like, I ain't seeing with nobody in a couple of days, they must be single. That's kind of crazy.
Well, that's part of stalking too for some people.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it means. Romantic regret. We can't hear you, Doc.
Yeah, she went out.
You're underwater.
Let me fix my volume. Can you hear me? Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. Excuse me. So, Neil, were you talking about them not being able to have a relationship, or you thinking that they don't have a relationship, or they can't get into
I think it's that they're not able to exclusively have a relationship because they have not let go of you. I think that's what I was thinking. They have not let go of the thought of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
is one of the signs.
that would definitely be one where you going forth can't hold on to a single relationship because of that. Like I said, that's when it becomes unhealthy, right? But I think I said, so I think it's okay to have a the one that got away feeling when you leave someone. I think it's kind of healthy, but then it should dissipate. If it only gets stronger, and you find yourself under their car, then it becomes
if that person becomes the standard, that can be a problem. Because you're not looking at everyone else based on their own potential or whatever they have, whatever they bring to the table. You're always looking at them against that other person.
Right. Measuring them by it.
Right. And it's tough for people to be the same. You know what I mean? It's almost irrational to think something like that. I need him to be like Bob.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to be like Bob. But people do that.
Yes, they do.
People definitely do that. You know, and that definitely becomes more of a problem with you in relationships because, again, you're not really looking for someone new. You're looking for Bob. And nobody can be Bob but Bob.
Nope.
Bob, Bob, dang, the boom. Sorry.
But you left Bob because he chewed too loud.
And that
you hear that, Bob?
And that becomes a problem, I think, too. I know people who do that where they'll be with someone, when they break up or they leave, whatever reason, then they want them back. Then they become that person.
That's another point. Yes.
Then they obsess over them until they get them back, and then they be like. And then when they leave again, so it becomes the new play is this is what it is. We make up the breakup, that type of thing.
The hunt of it all.
Make up, make up.
That's the kind of stuff you hear when somebody married the same person 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, right. It's like, yo, you make up, you break up. That's all you do. First you love them,
then you leave them.
I mean, that's a game for 2.
I've heard that somewhere before.
It's words of wisdom. I don't know where it came. It came off the top.
Oh, really? It came right out of there. Right now.
Sometimes it comes off the top,
Okay. Give credit where it's due. Give it where it's due. Unbelievable. Wow.
Which is why it's so important to think through these things while you're in the relationship. And not play that game. I always tell people, you don't start throwing around, I'm leaving you until you're actually really ready to leave. Until then, you look at, what's going on in the relationship, what your needs are, if they're being mad, you take a real inventory. That's not a threat you should just be throwing around.
Doc, I think you're right. Take a real inventory. Just really discuss. And I said, you could write it down yourself. Write down the good, the bad. What you need, what you're not being done. Write it all down so you can see it and it's tangible. So you're not just, because I think sometimes in our thoughts we get mixed up and we can generalize or whatever. But when we sit down and write something down, it's real, and you have to take time to think about it because you're writing it down. And that may make you see clearly what's going on, what's not going on, what you're doing, what they're doing. That may help you make a better decision than you just kind of trying to do it all in your head. It's like doing a big math problem in your head. It's kind of tough for some people.
And reality check for yourself. I mean, what's realistic in a relationship? Maybe they are going to chew loud. What can you tolerate? What's reasonable?
Right. And how many times do you say the same thing? I'm just saying.
Jot down how many times you've said it. I agree.
You might want to ask how many times can you say the same thing over and over and they don't change. So should you keep saying it? I mean, obviously. So
that's true.
We have. I think and that's something too. Like again, that's a perfect example of you write down what does it really matter, right? Does it matter? Does this really matter at the end of the day with all the big things that are going on? If there's 100 things and this person's not doing 10, well, am I going to complain about these 10 things? And I'm getting 90, right? We have to really decide. Unless part of that 10 is something that's a non-negotiable or something you need that you can't be without, then can I forgo these 10 things if I'm getting 90? And I think sometimes a lot of times people forgo a relationship for the 10. You know, they'll be like, I can't do this because you didn't do the one thing when there's 100 other. So
agreed.
You know,
and I think that goes full circle back to, you know, they leave for that one thing, go out into the pool and see there's nothing out there, and come running back.
All right, you out there, you're not even getting 40 of the things you wanted no more, anymore.
Right.
You're like, I can't get. I'm taking home 30 things I want. 70% I ain't getting. So now that 90 looks a lot better. And now something else getting you 90. Something else getting you 90 and loving it.
Yep.
And that's the one that got away.
And that's definitely the one that got away and staying away.
No. That's the one you ran away. See, like I said, I think it's misleading to say, now that talking about it, the one that got away usually is the one, for whatever reason, if it ain't, for most part, there are some reasons, but I think something you did to let them get away. Like I said, whether it was you weren't ready at the time or, you wanted more, whatever the case may be, usually it's something you did to let that person go, get away. So the one that got away is the one you ran away.
Wow.
Jag nabbit.
Wow.
Wanting too much, complaining too much, them away. Let's try that one.
Okay. That is one definition of
that is one definition. We'll leave it.
He chewed too loud me away.
He chewed me too loud away. That's a mouthful right there.
Right. I really believe a lot of these relationships are end over things that are really trivial.
They are.
What I mean? It may be something because nobody's talking about the main thing. I get if it's like the bills aren't getting paid or you have no food or the cars are breaking. I get it. But if you're sometimes we do complain over little things, and the little things become a big thing, and you'll leave and forgot like the staple of the relationship is being done. Like this is something that we can. Ruth's a great example. Whatever it is, you're like, even though you complain about, it's not that big of a deal.
No,
right?
it's
like it's not that big of a deal.
No.
We can play and we have this banter where we're so used to doing it. But it's cool.
But it's not a big deal.
It's not enough. Like I want to. No, right?
No. Or to keep mentioning it either. Yeah, it's not. No, just wear my earplugs under my hair.
Hey babe, I want some more chicken.
Right.
Babe, what's that?
I couldn't hear you. Whatever works, Laura. Whatever works. Yeah.
No, but Ruth, that's and again. So I think the one who doesn't get away is what we need to talk about. What are we doing to keep these people?
That's true.
Right?
We're not being petty with them, that's for sure. Like we just said.
Right.
We're not nitpicking little things.
Right.
Right.
And I think even if you are nitpicking, if the other person, because again, they have to value too and understand this is who they are sometimes, and I'm going to just try to I'm gonna try to get tone deaf when they say this. Like when they ask me to take the trash out right now, I'm not taking it out right now.
I knew that was coming back. I knew it. It makes an appearance every time.
So I'm just gonna take it out when I'm ready to take it out. I'm gonna play the game, and it'll just be what it is, right? So I think both people will have to take onus and like, you're the one I don't want to get away, and I don't want you to get away, and you both will do things. And there's got to be a certain bit of tolerability that you got to have within each other.
That's the piece. I don't think people are willing to do it. Too many choices, too many options. You want to leave.
Right.
You'll be the one that got away,
Absolutely. And so the one that got away is terrible. I'm learning it's a terrible saying. It's the worst.
Or the ones in your case, right? The ones.
The ones. I think a lot of people is the ones. I think every time you leave somebody, they might have been the one until you meet the new one. Okay. There should be no problem moving on. That's the problem. The problem is when you move, you can't move on. Okay.
Well, I think that's when you know that was really the one. I think that's when when they're still on your mind.
That is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds again
you messed it up.
That sounds like stalking too. I'm like, listen. Once you're gone, you're gone.
I don't believe that, Daryl. She's still on your mind. Is there a sound effect for that?
Seriously, it was a meme. It was a meme. You know, with and again, and that's the problem too, because there's so many options. I don't know who's getting away at this point, because you feel like you can just find somebody else. You know, find
right. I was
so
going to
really
ask the question: do you think you should try to get back with the one that you think got away?
That's a good question.
You just keep moving forward.
Well, again, I think it can both things can be true, right? If you're used to something, right? I knew you for a couple of years. I kind of know you know me. It's easier than starting over. You know, it's easier sometimes to go back to where you know than starting over, right? Because I already know pretty much who you are. The other person, and especially the other person new, they're still developing. There's things that are developing, habits and things that are still developing that sometimes you don't want to get used to. Like I said, if you're used to Joe, then you're used to Joe. And it's easier to get back into someone you're used to than start over sometime. And I think that's
unless Joe doesn't want you back.
Yeah, that's when you just stalk them. No, but if Joe doesn't want you back, and I think this is where, because again, One That Got AwayI can be I think it's healthy until like I said, if it starts affecting your relationship and you can't go on, things of that nature. And this is after a year later, you're still like that. There's a problem. You need help. You definitely need help at that point.
It may be worth trying to get them back, Doc, if the person realizes that, they're the ones that messed up and, they've grown since the mess up and, that person is available. I think I'm a romantic at heart, and I think it's worth trying to, have a second chance.
I agree.
Because you both might be at different places at that point, and it might work.
Right. But I agree, but kind of we talked earlier. I think you should go slow in those cases.
No, I agree with that.
So you don't fall back into old patterns of the good part. You fall back into the good. And then before you know it, you realize you didn't talk about or work on what bothers you. And now it's back here again.
I totally
agree. Back here at the door where we're leaving. So we need to work on it. And that's what happens. Because like I said, I don't want to be reminded of, negativity or what we'll call the abusive part of the relationship. You don't want to talk about the things that made you split, but we do have to deal with them.
Yes.
We deal with them up front and say, hey, look, this made me feel, I didn't like this and we can't do this. If this is going to happen, we can't move forward. And if you speak like that, then you'll find out if the one that got away is back or they're gone forever.
But it does have to be a mutual thing. You have to be sort of willing to do the work again, with that person feeling the same way about doing the work so that you don't repeat the bad patterns is what I'm saying.
And I think, Ruth, and you guys know, the work never stops.
Never, Daryl.
Right? The work, from what I'm learning, the work never stops. Right?
Work never stops.
It's constant work. It's constant,
it may change. It may look a little different every now and again, but it does not stop. And I think that's a misconception.
Right.
People think we got it now. We got it.
People like relations are easy and love at first sight and everything works well. I don't know what Disney cartoon you're watching. It's not that.
It's not.
I think it's just a lot of work, constant learning.
And like you
always.
Said, who's willing to do it? You've got to be willing to do the work.
You both have to be willing to do it. You have to be flexible. Because you can't have one person just being flexible all the time. You're going to break that person.
Oh, yeah.
There's only so much you can take. It's only so much one person can take. One person can't save a relationship. Both people have to be very flexible and do the best they can. But one person will be really upset the whole time.
Yes.
Really upset. One person not going to know, but one person will be really upset.
Excuse me. But you're right. When you come back into one of those One That Got AwayI relationships, you can't just pick up where you left off.
Right.
That's true.
You can't.
Or you'll just repeat.
Exactly. You'll repeat the same patterns. You will.
So what's the way to do that, to approach it, you think? Like other than the slow, like Daryl was saying, I agree with that, slow paced. But should the therapy, maybe? Therapy
would be a great way to do that. To have a mediator help you walk through those.
Yes, right.
That is always the best way to navigate a situation like that.
Yes. Okay.
But if you're trying to do it on your own, I agree with what Daryl said. You can't come in and try to forget about all the stuff that made you break up. You just can't.
Right.
You have to come in and you have to address those things.
Right. Head on. The only way that's going to fix it is address these things head on right now, because these are things that destroyed you. So let's come in and not have these landmines that we're covering up that we're going to walk on later. Let's unearth these landmines right now and diffuse them if we can. Because you may find out that we're not as compatible as we think. You know what I mean? And don't let the trash out in the world make you think this is the one that got away too. And I think people do that. I think due to having no other better, what they feel is no better options. Oh, I should have stayed with Jorge. Jorge was a good man. You know,
right.
Jorge. You know,
in comparison to what's out there, it may be actually settling.
But it may be exactly.
Yeah, you may be settling at the end of the day.
Right. Right.
Because Jorge or whatever was doing, 5 things wrong, and what's out there is 25. So,
well, I think we're creatures of habit, and we go back to our habits, right?
Oh,
yeah, so it's like a drug. It's not that this situation is exponentially better, but like I said, you get out there, and especially in the beginning, you and Jorge have been together 3 years, so you went through all the beginning phases.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Beginning, as you're learning the curves and you're learning people and they're doing things, and they haven't had a chance to learn who you are, so they may be doing things wrong, but Jorge already knows how to do them because he's been 3 years. You want your new relationships also to move faster. You want your new relationships to be where your last relationship ended with Jorge. So you want the person to be everything Jorge was plus what he wasn't. Right? But people can't do that in the beginning, so you don't have another 3 years to invest in this person to get it right. So you're like, I tried for 3 weeks. I'm going back to Jorge.
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? So now the one that got away really is you're not willing to try. You're not really willing to try a new relationship. This relationship only looks great that it looks like the one that got away because it's kind of what you know. There was some good, but you guys really weren't compatible. That's why you didn't work.
Yes.
Right? For whatever reason. But again, like I said, some people want to be with the devil they know. It's easier to go back to Jorge because at least I know.
I know what poison I'm working with.
I know I know whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I know he's at work. He's at work talking to people, having emotional relationships. But that's okay because it doesn't go anywhere else. He knows he got a good woman at home. So.
It's not gonna stop, Doc. Sorry.
I know. But Neil, I think you made a good point. You could end up settling, thinking you're going back to
something
the one
good
that got away.
Nor is it good for you, like Daryl said. Yes.
Right. Right. So again, usually if something doesn't work, it didn't work for me.
Yeah. And I think you should take an inventory, and I think you mentioned this, Daryl. You take an inventory of why you even want this person back. You need to figure that out. You need to figure out what is it that I want or need from this person before you start trying to go back.
Win them back. To win them back, right?
And I would even ask, what is my real motivation? What is the real motivation? If the motivation is like, well, they were here and we did have fun and they, helped me. So then that doesn't really seem like that's more about a relationship. That's more about what they can do for you. So your motivation to me it wasn't like, well, I really care about them. And that's not what I heard. It's about things they did. So I don't know if that.
But a lot of people are with people for what they can do for them, Daryl.
I know.
That's the reality there.
I know.
He's like, I know. And that hence is our problem with relationships.
I was just watching a video for I can't remember the girl's name now, but Cardi B is on it. And they have a couple of lines in there. One of the lines is, broke boys make you choose, rich boys buy you both.
Oh, okay. Wow. You know that
both broke boys give you D, and rich boys sponsor goals.
Wait, rich boys do what?
Sponsor goals.
Sponsor gold.
Goals.
Got it. Okay.
Goals.
That's interesting.
As we're talking about being with people who can do things for you.
And that's what a lot of folks are looking for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What have you done for me lately? Yes.
Sounds like women to me.
What was that? I can hear you. Excuse us. Speak up. What was that?
I hear you.
Fellas, pay attention.
Your mic went out. Sorry, what was that?
Pay attention, fellas, because I was wondering who is really looking for people because of what they got. I don't know.
Look, I married for love. I was one of the dummies. I married for love, strictly love.
Your younger years, you married for love, right? So if you do get married younger, that's what you usually get married because you both don't have anything.
Right. That was key.
When you're older, you do marry usually for whatever reason you have, whether it's security, whether it becomes more of a business, right? Because you have different things, so it's a lot different. So yeah, when you're younger, you do marry.
I think that's how it used to be, but I think it's kind of the reverse now, where especially with the young women these days, possibly. It may be because of their youth and beauty, they can marry for money.
I agree.
And then you start thinking more about love relationships as you get older, and you don't have those same qualities that you had when you were a youngin'.
So
start looking for love.
Okay, fellas, let's do some educating. Nobody's marrying these young girls. For the most part, they're just.
Oh yeah, he always says that they're not keeping them, right?
Okay. They're just playing with them, right?
That's only that's only in the celebrity world.
Yes, no, it's in the world. Period. Marriage is down. Okay?
I see a bunch of these young celebrity girls married.
Okay, so most of them are getting married, and if they do get married, they're divorced in a couple of years, and then you're back out there.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about them getting wifed. Period. We talk about them getting wiped.
They are getting wiped.
They are getting wiped.
Wait. They're not getting. Most are not getting wiped up. I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Most are not. Most are. Again, so the median age of marriage for women is what, 28, right? 28 right now.
I don't know either.
No, I do. I just told you. So
okay, we have to believe
28.
We'll trust what you say. We'll trust
what you say. So these young girls, usually aren't getting married. They're getting flued out, and they're getting paid for stuff, and they're getting paid for their services. We'll say it that way.
Oh my!
So yes, you may get a yacht. But you were paid for. And then when I'm done with you,
all the housewives shows they're not wives.
Name them any of them that are young. These are old women that are trying to get their second chance. Older
women are old women.
And you see the damage. Listen, and you see the damage in these older women because now they're looking for something that they can't get because their sexual market rate value is down. They want a man of stature because they still need to be taken care of, and nobody wants them. This is what's happening.
So when do they want to wife them up? Because I'm hearing not at the old end.
Right, and not
at the young end. When is the wifey period?
Again,
when is that period?
Marriage is down right now. Again, the marriage is diminishing. Even marriages are down. People are either not working. And again, like I said, 1 out of 4 Black women are getting married in their lifetime.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Again, I can't remember. I got the blackstat.com. I forget what it is, but it's something that you look up the finding stat. So yes, marriage is down. Because of this reason, because people are getting flued out, they're getting their little boats and they're all good. And I guarantee a lot of these people think they're the one.
Wait, could it be that marriage just doesn't hold the same appeal? Because what do you get from it? When you think about it, what? Why do people?
What do you get from it?
Why do we talk about that at some point? Why do people get married?
Let's talk about that soon.
Wait. First of all, I'm just gonna say women get everything out of marriage, men get nothing.
Okay, here we go.
No, factually. Once you get a divorce, who gets what?
We're not talking about divorce. We said marriage.
So when a woman comes in, most of the time, man makes more money. Most of the time, right? Because men make more than women on average. So most of the time, women are coming to a situation where a man is making more money. Now so they have an incentive to go into marriages because even if it doesn't work, you'll get paid after that marriage dissolves.
What's the incentive for a woman to get married if she makes more money than her husband?
Again, it doesn't happen that much, but it does happen. So it'll be less of an incentive for her because women, what we're hearing, some women talk about the respect and things of that nature are based in how much a man makes. So women who make more than men say they can't respect the men. So there's not much for them in marriage.
One woman said that. That's Gabrielle Union. She don't count.
No, and wait a minute. And I see a lot of women say it every day because they say men should pay for everything. So if that's the thought process that men should provide or you should pay for everything, which would mean if she's making all the money and you can't pay for everything, then I can't respect you. Same thing. It's the same concept.
Well, what's the incentive to get married?
Right.
For a woman, I just said, for a woman, you get married because you come out better. Now, for men, there's no real, what do we get? I don't know.
So why do they do it then? Because men are the ones asking.
Why are they doing it?
Again,
so why are they doing it?
This is why marriage is down. I think people are doing it out of tradition, out of culture, things of that nature. But now we see it's down, right? Because men are saying, there's really no advantage of me doing this. Because if we break up, if it doesn't work, I'm going to pay. I'm going to probably have to pay for a lawyer. I'm going to have to pay for child support. I'm going to have to pay for alimony. They're not going to have to pay for anything. This is how it's set up. So there are no real, if we're just talking about that way, advantages for getting married, because it's supposed to be, your partnership and all that type of stuff. But a lot of times we see today, that's not what it is.
That's sad.
So, it is.
That's very sad to me.
And that's why marriage is down. This is why people are not doing it like they used to do it. That's why, but overall, even relationships aren't even working.
Yeah.
Right. Regular relationships aren't working. It's 3 to 6 months. So all it is, it's done. You did everything with that person. I'm gonna move on and start over.
Oh my.
With someone else. So this is the
those numbers process. Kill me, Doc. I'm sorry. 3 to 6 months, and it's all done. You've done everything. What happens to a lifetime of learning and doing?
Well, again, when you're broke, it's different. But if I'm, if we're doing age dating and I'm in my prime and I'm making good money and I can fly you out and fly you around the world and we did everything. Wow. Right? In a couple of months, you could do so much. But now after that, what happens to that woman who has a taste for this lifestyle? Like if you can't get another man to do that for you, then what? Right. And then now you're looking down on other men. So when they say like women have what they call them, regular men. So regular men are a problem. So if you because most people are regular. Right? So now the regular man can't compete because he works at the post office, or he makes 70,000, which is not enough to afford that lifestyle that you're looking for. So
regular
women don't want regular men. They don't want to.
Why the regular men out here acting like they this stuff does? They should be more humble.
See? Exactly. I don't know. So I don't know if it's men.
Stay in your lane, regular man.
I don't know if it's regular men. But listen. So again, I hear what you're saying. But they all try to come back to a regular man. They all try to come back to a regular man after they're used and abused and been flown around, and then now these men don't want them anymore. Then we don't want you either. We don't want you either. If now you want to come back to us after the fact, we don't want you either. Sorry, boo-boo. All right? Because in that time when you were flying around being jet setting and then let go, and now you can't listen, I can afford a bill like most people want a partner, right? You want a partner. You want someone you can share and build with and pool your money together and do these things with. But with these ideologies where man is supposed to do everything. He's supposed to slave and cook. He's supposed to, pay for everything and spend his last dollar and get her everything she wants. I still don't know what she's supposed to do because men clean today, right? Men cook. So what are you really getting?
A lifelong partner.
But a headache.
A lifelong partner who will love you until the day you die.
And someone complaining about the way I chew.
Yes, but they're going to listen to it until you take that last breath.
You're going You're complaining about me chewing. I do all these things. I'm doing all the things. You know. So
all right. So I'm looking at these. I'm looking at these stats. Yes. So less people are getting married, but less people are divorcing as well. Huh. So people staying together.
I don't know about that. What stats are you looking at? What stat? What
relationship from the Census Bureau. Relationship statistics 2022.
Okay.
Only 2.7 in every 1,000 people get divorced compared with 4 people 2 decades ago. So divorce is down.
The divorce is down as well. Okay.
Yeah. But marriage is down. Marriage is down, but divorce is down too. So people get married less, but they stay together. So maybe people making better choices. Maybe people making better choices.
That's not what it said. You guys are changing what it said.
I said maybe that's why. We don't know why. We don't know why people are staying together.
The divorce is down because less people are even getting married.
That's not what the stat says.
You just said it. You said divorce is down, right? Divorce is down. And the married people number.
But the people that are married are not divorcing.
But she's saying the ones that are married are staying married.
There's only 4 people married. If one gets divorced, that's still a lot of people.
Oh my God. All right.
Okay. I can still see a lot of people.
I can see.
Where's the flag? Wave your flag.
Yes.
Wait. You win, girl.
Man.
Hold on. I'm trying to get black demographics. You're talking about across the board. I don't usually deal with everyone. I stick in our community.
You talking about the black men if you talk about black people and you talk about them not wanting these women after they've been flown out, they the ones that wife them up after they get flown out everywhere.
1 in 4 black women get married. What are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about here, okay? Don't let them stats fool you. They ain't for us.
Wait, but Daryl, is that also reflective of them not wanting to marry these guys either? Come on, women can say they don't want to be married.
Say again, Ruth?
Women could say they're not choosing to marry as well. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's not just that the men aren't, wifing them up. Maybe they're choosing not to marry these men.
And that's a good point because women do have their own money. They can do all their own stuff. So they may be saying, why do I need to get married?
Why do I need it?
Right. Women, I think women are saying that.
Okay.
And how happy are you coming home alone every night or getting another notch in your belt? I don't know if that's what women want to do.
I don't know.
I think some women are okay with it. I think some are okay with it.
And it doesn't have to be a notch on your belt. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. I enjoyed my 38 years of coming home to my house. Don't have to listen to nobody say nothing. Go where I want to go. Do what I want to do.
Where's the sound effect? What?
What? Doc enjoyed it so much she got married.
No.
Yeah. Well, yes, I did.
Exactly. You enjoyed it so much. You said, I'm tired of this shit.
No, she didn't. Maybe she was ready for the next part.
That's not why. That is not. I wasn't tired of it. That wasn't why I got married.
See?
That wasn't why I got married.
No. Whatever reason, I don't know why. I know you got married. So at a certain point, something changed.
What changed, Doc?
But the point
we ain't going to doctor information like that. But
the point that I'm making is that some women are okay with not being married.
Oh, I get it. There are. But are we saying the majority of women?
That's what we were saying.
So we're saying the majority of women are okay with not being married? Because 1 out of 4 of them
I don't know what the majority is. I'm saying there are some. We can't say that there's none. We can't say that there's none.
I agree. I think there are some. But I'm saying I think the majority of women would want to be
I wouldn't say the majority.
I wouldn't agree with that either.
I wouldn't say the majority because it's too many people not getting married. So we can't say the majority because some of that people not getting married is because they don't want to.
Maybe they're not getting chose to get married, right?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
I'm sure there's a percentage.
I'm sure there's a percentage that's true for. But I also think that there's a percentage that just don't want to be bothered with it. So because marriage is not an easy thing.
It's work. We just said that.
Yes, it's not an easy thing. And some people rather not be bothered.
Pay attention to these delusions. Women, I don't think that.
Why we gotta be delusional?
Because I don't think most women want to be by themselves.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. In a survey of all the women you know personally, how many are married?
How many women did I know are married?
Yes. Of the people women that you know, are they all married?
In my family, they are. Well, all my cousins are married.
But that's a value. That might be a value system of the family.
That's like right. That's 5 people. That's 5 people that are married. Outside of that, no. If I know you ain't married, most women I know ain't married.
Do they want to be?
Yeah, most women.
The women you know, not most women out in the world in the clouds. I'm talking about the women that you know personally. If they said to you, I wish I was married, Daryl. I just want to be married.
Women, yes. I think most women, they want to be wiped up. Most women say they want to be wiped up. I don't know many that don't say they want to be wiped up. They want to be in a relationship.
I know 3 that we know together that don't want to be married. So
that's what they're telling you. I don't believe that. And the only reason I don't believe it too is because everything that you were taught from 0 to 100 is that women should do this. So
unless that's not a family value. If you come from a family where the women are not married, it might not be a value.
But again, everything you're taught, I'm talking about everything you see on TV, everything you're promoted in Disney is promoting marriage.
But we know for a fact that even though you get all these influences, the family influence is the strongest. So if you come from a family system where marriage is not valued, you may not see it as something you want to do or need to do.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. And you can say what you want to say. I believe most women want to be, and I'm saying most, not all. I'm saying most of them would want to be.
I wouldn't say most to that because I know too many women that don't want to be married, so I can't say most of that.
And the reason I'm on the fence about both sides, the reason I'm on the fence is if they really wanted to be married, wouldn't they be taking the steps toward being marriage material?
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know what that means, to be honest. I mean, because if a man, you have to be asked to be married. So I don't know what steps.
Yes, but you also have to be wanting to do it. If you're wanting to do it, you have to be acting you have to come under certain umbrella for wanting to be married, I think that looks different from a woman that doesn't want to be married, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I think if a man wants to marry, he's going to ask to marry, independent of how he might like your rebelliousness. I don't know. But I know you have to be asked. Independent of anything, someone has to want you first. Someone has to say the words, will you marry?
So these men don't want these women, is what you're saying?
No, men are getting married. It's not to these women. Black women are for some reason. No, really. Right now, black women are not getting married.
So the black women are not.
It's not black men are not getting married.
Okay.
It's black women for whatever reason. There's so many reasons that go into that, right? Because black women are the lowest on the pole for everything. They're just treated the worst. But for whatever the reason, black women are not getting married right now.
I'd like to delve more into that.
Why, we don't know. But it could be that the way that black women are even stereotyped, that they're not cooperative, that they're not they don't want to be submissive and yada 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 yada.
They want to tell you how you're chewing. Yeah.
Right. See, thank you.
They want to ask you to take the trash out after it's been 3 days. I hear you.
Right. See, these type of things could lead.
Yeah.
These type of things could lead to you not being the one that got away. Like you just one I got away from.
Because I asked you to take the trash out. I'm going to be the one that got away.
Right. But and it could be just the way we look at each other. The way we look at each other as a culture, how we don't trust each other, and it, just like we have for each other. Why black men maybe not choosing to marry black women as much, right?
But everybody got butts now.
Well, we talked about that.
Everybody got butts now. It's not just a black woman thing, so you can find a butt anywhere.
That's true. We talked about it.
You guys had the market cornered for a while now, but now it's a free market. It's a free market. So
wow.
You lost that. So it is interesting. It is interesting and it's tough. But I will say that you know, that's what I think. The time we're definitely a community that's in crisis, and we have to figure it out. Even I know, Ruth, we can't talk about it today, but we saw like even now they're just targeting these Black women all of a sudden that are dying during birth.
We wanted to talk about that soon.
This is incredible. It's insane at this, you know,
alarming
birth,
rate.
Yeah, birth should be something that we kind of.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
I was doing a campaign about the mortality rate of Black women in childbirth back in 1994.
Wow. See?
And so to see all these years later that this is still an issue is really heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking.
I think what's even more heartbreaking is that from 94 to now, we had one article, well, there's probably an article every so often. But we're not talking about something that's so alarming because once again, the devalued view of Black women. If there were a whole bunch of others dying at this rate, there would be some type. Again, you wouldn't have to do a campaign. There would be something. There would be more money thrown at research to make it better, to stop it from happening. But they're allowing it to happen to these.
Yeah, women. I hope we can discuss that one day. That article was written, Pat. Sorry.
Yeah, it's sad, and it's like, but it's like, you know, what can we do?
Well, we can start by talking about it. That's one thing. Again, yeah,
but they got to change. We can talk to. We can talk to it. You know.
No, I agree, but
if they don't change, we're going to just have the same thing. And I don't see a reason for them to change, especially if one group is kind of going extinct with a zero birth rate, and you know we're fertile and having babies left and right. This is one way to kind of slow us down. Like, let's take out the matriarchs in the community, right? You know, you're taking out the ability to reproduce
safely,
look like us. You know, you're taking it out, and that's and God, Doc, this is 94.
94.
That's insane.
I worked for the Pennsylvania SIDS Center, and we were doing stuff around maternal mortality rates and infant death rates.
Wow.
And they were very high back then too?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be further along in that now.
And we should.
30 years?
Yeah, 30, 29, 30 years.
Well, Ruth, I will say they are further along, because if other groups are not experiencing this, it doesn't mean
that's true.
It has to be something.
There's something else about it.
Group.
Yes,
right.
Yes. Specific to our group. Yes.
You understand me? It has to be something targeting this group. If it was over across the board, it'd be different, right? If it just said, you know, mothers in general are dying at a high rate at birth.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing than saying Black mothers are. And I don't know, I didn't read the whole article. Did it say what was the closest, like white women are next, or the next closest?
No, they didn't go, from the parts I did read, they didn't go into the next category of demographics, if you will. They didn't talk about it. But it focused on the Black mothers.
Wow. I wonder what's the next closest.
That's a good question.
Just to see, because I mean, this is actually like an epidemic almost, right? If it's these women are dying. I mean, you have to at that point say something, right? Right? You have to, but I guess they're not. In 30 years, they haven't.
And a lot of these fathers are left to raise the babies that do survive on their own.
It's just insane.
The babies that a lot of the babies don't survive, but the ones that do, the fathers are left.
So mother and baby are dying.
Yes, mother and baby in a lot of the cases, from what I read.
And they don't know why. They don't have any reason.
Oh, they give you a host of things about, when the blood pressure rises, sometimes when pregnancy causes that. I forget the term. There's a term. Endometrius, I think. There's a term for. Yes.
Others don't get this. Others don't get it.
Others do. And they are controlling that through meds and so forth. So why, again, is this group not being diagnosed? I would love to talk about it more later, though, because I had that issue when I was pregnant. I went through that and almost died.
That's
I went through that with Roger.
Giving birth is a damn near life sentence for us.
Without the proper care.
Without the proper care.
Well, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. What do you mean? These people are seeming to have the proper care until they get in the room with these people.
And sometimes up to that point, they're not getting the proper care by being checked out in a way, for an early diagnosis of these things that can alter the pregnancy at the end, which is what happened to me. I didn't get a diagnosis, and then I woke up in the hospital 8 months carrying.
What do you mean a diagnosis? Like, what do you mean?
Oh, for what's going on with your body? Did I have high blood pressure happening and nobody was, paying attention to that? Did I have the endometrius thing happening? All these things that can happen to your body when you're pregnant. That's supposed to be monitored.
These are special tests that are given?
Well, if your body's doing something crazy.
But they don't, when you go for your normal checkup, they don't see these things?
They should. They take your blood pressure. They do blood work.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think that what you're getting at is there a difference between how we're treated and how others are treated?
Well, that's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
That's care before the baby comes. That's care before.
Right. I mean, I know you get your prenatal care, you see the doctor, and they send you little pictures like, look, there's the baby, look, there's the penis.
He said little pictures.
while they're doing this, they're like, okay, they see on the machine your heart rate is way up here. Like, no, you're
exactly.
Good.
That's my point.
Is that what's happening?
That's what's happening.
Insane. It gotta be. You go to doctors like 9, 10, 12 times.
And you go even more toward the end. Exactly. So
in all this time, they're missing we didn't know you had high blood pressure. Nigga, what? Wait, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You just tell me now, 8 months, like a high blood pressure. I just got it at all these checks. Like,
and it went so high, I went into seizure. So I developed epilepsy based on it at that time.
That's insane.
It's true. It is insane, but it's true.
But I mean, it's crazy that they can. Once again, Black women are just treated terribly here. Right. It's just
which is why it's so important that we educate ourselves
and advocate.
So that we can advocate for ourselves.
Right. Right. I mean, could this be something this was so out the blue? I'm like, wow, these Black women, I thought it was something new. Now I'm learning from this is what it's been. This is what, and this is par for the course.
And continuing.
And they're doing nothing about it because why would you do anything about something you don't care about? Obviously you don't care about it because if this is happening to this group, okay. Because if 3 others die, I guarantee they're gonna have changes all over the. Wait! You lost 3. What happened? And that's sad. That's just sad.
Very sad, Daryl. Very sad.
Something that's now it's even more traumatizing to think about it, having a child and having to deal with that. Like I said, you got to know these things. Wow.
Like you said, so that you can advocate, so that you can feel empowered to speak up for yourself. Because, as a young mother, I didn't know what was happening. And, they weren't telling me what was happening. So, yeah.
Wow.
So good topic to think about.
Yes.
Right. Hey, I mean, so we kind of all over the place, but that's what we do here.
Right.
Okay?
Tonight, we're just everywhere.
That's what we do. We give you our answers, nothing but answers. Anything can come up. Okay, we may start here. Don't mean we're going in here. Okay, we let you know our topic is a guide. Okay, it's not a track. It's a guide, meaning you don't have to stay on track. We can go anywhere. Talk about anything we want because we got answers for everything.
That's it.
All right. So we give a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit more of this, a little bit. Yes, this is the format. We're gonna talk about everything. If you call in, which you didn't, y'all need to call in. We'll talk about what you want to talk about too. Okay?
Which you didn't call in, folks.
Right. This is Friday night turn up. We're going to talk about whatever. Nothing but answers. You understand me? Every Friday. So don't be writing in here talking about y'all didn't stay on topic. We don't gotta stay on topic.
You should have written in and refocused us.
Our topic is gonna be whatever we're talking about at the time. You understand? Clap it up. Whatever we're talking about at the time is the topic. That's what it's gonna be. Just letting you guys know.
Oh God. What are we gonna do with the doc?
I have no idea.
So I mean, listen. We had a fun conversation tonight. It was really fun. I learned a lot. I'm gonna check the way I chew from now on because I might have lost a couple ones because I didn't chew right. Didn't know that was a thing. So, hey, any last
Daryl,
words?
yours is not Daryl. Yours is not how you chew. Yours is the trash. We already know what yours is. So you start there.
I didn't know.
We'll work on the chewing later with you.
What you got, Doc?
I don't have nothing. I don't have anything. I don't have anything else to say. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
Listen, Ruth, what you got, Neil?
What do I have? Let me think. Don't be the one that got away. That's what I'm going to say. Right. Make sure that you are working on your relationship. You are talking through your relationships. Don't have those romantic regrets because they are out there, and you do not want to be that person looking on social media, watching the family that could have been, whatever. Do your work in your relationship. That's all I got.
Hey, I agree. When you have time to do the relationship, do it then. Right? Once they're gone, they're gone. Leave them alone. Go get somebody else. Okay? Let them go. Okay? Move on. Have somebody else. Okay? Yeah, I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We don't want to be a stalker. Stalk somebody's page. They don't want you to move on. They left for a reason. So, but as always, we had a great. And listen, we're here Fridays. We want to have fun, right? We definitely want to educate some, but we also want to have fun. We want to laugh if we can. We did end on it's really serious, but if you're pregnant or think about getting pregnant, both you guys look into these things. Like, I didn't know these things, look into them because it could save your life. It seems like it's dangerous out there. But other than that, have a great weekend. It was a great show. We'll be back next Friday. Thank you so much. Nothing but answers. Signing out.